everyone. You're welcome to part 4 of I Want to Be the President of Nigeria. I'm your host, Ifeoma Chibogu, and this is Ifeoma Speaks. Stay tuned. Good to see you, Tope.
Great to see you too.
You're welcome to Ifeoma Speaks.
Thank you very much. Thanks for inviting me.
I like your face cap.
Oh, yes. It says stick here for President 2019. That's Tope Kolade Fashra for President 2019.
What's your pedigree?
Yeah, I'm an economist. I also worked in banking for about 13 years. I left banking as a regional director in Abuja. I worked with about 2-3 banks in my time. I also have a master's degree in financial derivatives and financial markets and derivatives because I wanted to learn a lot more about investment banking, how does it work out there, and so on. And since I came back from the UK, I've been a consultant. I run global analytics consulting in Abuja. I also formed and started an Institute for Service Excellence and Good Governance in Nigeria. About 4 years ago, I'm the president of that institute. Also, I'm a columnist. I developed a knack for writing. So for about 12, 13 years, I've been a columnist with Abuja-based Daily Trust. I'm the secretary of their board of economists. I also write for Daily Premium Times. Sometimes I get published in This Day and a few magazines in and outside Nigeria, Modern Ghana, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So I know at some point in time, I decided to join, some say join politics, but I also see myself as a nation builder by forming and calling a few guys together and say, guys, let's form our own political party that we can build from the scratch with a private sector mentality per se. I have to see how can we put all those stuff about corporate governance in and get things done properly from the beginning, make it very transparent, make it very modern, tech-based, and so on. And it's called ANRP, Abundant Nigeria Renewal Party. So I'm equally the chairman of that party for now.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So many people want to be the president of Nigeria come 2019. Why should we vote for you?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Why should you vote for me? I'll tell you straight up, right? I'm sorry to say, let me just be a little bit immodest. None of the people I've seen can match me in terms of the vision for this country, in terms of the vision for the socio-polity and for the economy and for the people of this country. I have a system thinking approach, so my thoughts are not straight-jacketed. I'm not one of those people who tell you all we need is foreign investors, all we need is electricity and so on. I'm going to give you a full vision, and I think as we speak, I'm the only one that has actually, I'm surprised, because I didn't actually start actioning my vision on time because I was building my party. I felt we needed to put in some good structure and encourage a lot of people to also contest at different levels. But as I'm talking to you, I'm the only one that has this kind of document, which is like a 28-page program book that details my manifesto and all of that. But it's not actually a manifesto. It's more like an operations manual for how to run Nigeria. And I'm surprised that most of the guys out there have not actually sat down to actually say, this is how I want to solve this problem. What kind of problem do we have in Nigeria? We have a problem with insecurity. We have a problem with corruption. We have a problem with poverty. We have a problem with all sorts of things, So how do you intend to solve the problem? It's not just about razzmatazz and being seen. A lot of people have been saying that all the young guys that want to go for president, you guys should come together. Great stuff. We should come together. But people are not even asking, come together over what? You know what I mean? So come together over what? They should first of all be asking us, what do you have to offer? It's not just your age. The age is, yes, age maybe means that to a certain extent you're agile, you're passionate, and so on. But that's not enough. So clearly, with an exception of maybe one or two of them that I respect, perhaps I'll even say one of them that I respect, none of them can match me in an economic debate. And it's not going to be just about the economy, it's going to be about the sociology of Nigeria, the politics of Nigeria, the philosophical ethos of Nigeria. What vision do we have for our people? What are we trying to create? And how do we intend to create that vision, So by all means, I think I stand out. And they know. And I think I'm the only one who actually, out of all the lot for now, to a very large extent. I created a solid party base. Our party, ANRP, out of the last 21 parties that were registered in January and that were licensed in January, we're the only ones that have done state congresses in 33 out of 37 states. I mean, including the FCT, we're the only ones that have done that. Right now, we're doing local government and world congresses. You have to create a structure, and I've learned a lot. And I'll also tell you this, very interesting, that the best thing that qualifies you for running a country like Nigeria is actually that if you have run a political party. If you've been the MD of a bank or MD of an oil company, it cannot prepare you for this. That's why you see that many times a lot of guys leave the corporate sector to come into politics, and they fail spectacularly. Number one, they're cheated. They're cheated, sometimes they make so many assumptions. That the rules in politics, especially in a country like Nigeria, are totally different. You've got to be on your guard. There are so many risks that you run on a daily basis, too much of betrayal, backstabbing, you know what I mean? So, except you've actually sat atop a party to actually see some of those things, see your friends desert you, see some of them go behind your back and do stuff, because power is at play, money is at play, and all of that, you can't get prepared for it. So because I'm the one that has put myself in the fray, I have actually tried to put together people. We have 53,000 plus people in that political party today. Yeah, give or take. We're 53,000 because if you join right now, we log it. It's going to be +1. We have your name in the database. We have your phone number. We contact you. We're the only political party in this country today where we have a call center. We have 10 ladies calling out on a daily basis. We're the only crowdfunded party today. And that's the edge that I have. A lot of the other guys that are coming are now at the mercy of those who set up parties, and then you're trying to go there. Of course, you knew what happened yesterday in one of the parties that was actually trying to shape itself to be like ANRP. But all of a sudden, some of the more promising aspirants were shocked at what happened. In ANRP, we play straight. We run option A4 for our internal voting. We put all our cards on the table. We make it very transparent. We don't do night meetings and all of that. We don't believe in all of these caucuses, people meeting and bickering, all of that. Put everything on the table. Transparency. We run it like you run a bank. You know what I mean? So I think all of that stands me out ahead of the other people.
Thank you, Thomas. Is he online?
Absolutely, he's online. I've shared it far and wide. He's on my Facebook page. I put it all out there, People said, oh, they're going to steal your ideas. I said, let them steal it. Listen, I wish they had stolen this earlier. If Buhari can steal the ideas of Kemi or whoever, let them steal the ideas, because so long as it makes Nigeria work, that's what I'm in this for. Like I said, listen, I'm not hungry for power. I'm not looking to be president by all means. I'm not interested in the photo opportunities, all of this stuff. I was flying into Lagos yesterday. The whole airport was closed. We were hanging in the air. Even when we touched down, we were on the tarmac for like 15, 20 minutes. A VIP movement. I'm not interested, because I don't believe in any of those things, right? We travel abroad. You've never flown into JFK and they tell you that, Barack Obama is trying to land or Donald Trump, and you guys have to hang for the next 30 minutes. I'm not interested in all of that. I don't know how they do it abroad, but we don't see that. And someone said, oh, it's security reason. I'm like, the security reason, they're afraid of dying. When they didn't die, what have they done for the people of this country? No, that's what I'm saying. You're so paranoid, they want to kill you and all of that. You call that power? I'm not interested in that kind of power. But what I'm sure of is this. The ideas in my head, the ideas that I put down there for the world to see on my Facebook, on the internet, on WhatsApp, this document is everywhere.
Social media.
On Facebook, I use @Tokpefashua. There's also @Tokpefashua2. There's also @Tokpefashua.75. That's the one some of my team members created. On Twitter is @Tokpefashua as well. Then just Google me and see the rest. My team has created a YouTube account. My own personal YouTube account, which I opened a long time ago. Is also @Tokpefashua. Everything I try to synchronize it at Tokpefashua everywhere, equally on Instagram and elsewhere. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Tokpe, you have an opportunity to convince Nigerians to vote for you.
Right.
This is your chance. Make good use of it.
Absolutely. Like I said earlier on, the focus for Nigeria in 2019 should be about the ideas that will take 70 million people out of poverty in this country. Nigerians should look for that person who has the ideas and has the passion to take this country to the next level. Enough already of all the politics of personality and prebendalism and all of that stuff about ethnicity, religion, and all of that. The world is not waiting for Nigeria. Nigeria has hit the radar in a very, very wrong way on several platforms. Highest number of poor people in the world, highest number of maternal and child mortality, highest number of children out of school. We have the ideas. We have the ideas, we have the people. We're going to make sure that this country reboots itself with its own resources. It is totally unacceptable that Nigeria is having a budget of $25 billion for 180 million people in this year 2018, when South Africa is doing a budget of $155 billion, when Angola is doing a budget of $56 billion, Egypt is doing $68 billion, Algeria is doing $60 billion, even Kenya, which is far smaller than our economy, is running a budget of $29 billion this year. The wealth of this country is in the hands of a few people, and I think it is totally unfair for them to just think that they are ruling the roost, you know, and then everybody is not thinking, and imagination has stymied over time. You know, we're saying that in this country, the rich, the legitimate rich, can get richer, and the middle class can expand and feel more comfortable in their country with the money and the wealth that they have. And that by every means, we have no reason whatsoever to keep poor people this poor in this country. I have the agenda, I have the ideas, I put it all out here, you know, for people to see. I'm going to be sharing it. It's everywhere. I don't care anybody, whatever you make of it, I don't care. If it's stolen, let it be stolen. You know, we have it all here. You know, we have a certain 5 irreducible minimums that Nigeria must achieve under my government when I come in 2019, and I don't even care. Even if I don't come in, whoever comes there must be told to do this. You know, we must feed ourselves. We must feed ourselves by bringing science into agriculture, all right, and ensuring that the educational sector in Nigeria, the polytechnics and the universities, become relevant for the solutions that this country needs. We must ensure our own security by every means. As we speak right now, we're vulnerable as a nation, such that even some of the nations around us, if they have an attack on us, we can't help ourselves. Our presidents are running all over, our leaders are running all over the place looking for arms and ammunition, begging the other countries to do that. Sometimes they take money from us for 2 years, you know, before they supply us with the things that we need. All right. So we must tidy up our environment. This is very, very important. Tidying up our environment, ensuring that, look, we keep our environment clean. If we want tourism, we must take care of the environment. If we want to create jobs for the youth of this country, and we should be focusing on post-secondary employment, everybody that leaves secondary school should be told to get a job, and we should assist them to get a job. That's very important. So we must tidy up, you know, after ourselves. We must close ourselves. 180 million people without, you know, living in this country. We have not prioritized, you know, our own textile industry. We must do that. And we must house ourselves. And this is very important to me, because in the aspect, in terms of housing ourselves, we have never had any provision for majority of the people of this country. You go to our villages, people are living in mud houses. Those mud houses are collapsing where they stand. There's nothing wrong in living in mud houses. Some say it's cooler, right? But the point is that if we are other kind of people, we would have helped them to standardize those houses. There would have been some government input in terms of intelligence. The intellectuals and intelligentsia should be able to assist these people to live a better life. Nigeria has no excuse, once again, to be in this prebendal and this backwards, you know, dark ages that we are as a people. As it is said about the dark ages, James Mitchell has said, an age was called dark, not because the light refused to shine, but because people refused to see the light. Every morning in the dark ages, the sun will shine. But people, in their minds and their spirits, they decided not to see the sun, and they did things in a dark manner. Nigeria must move away from its own dark ages, and that's what we're talking about here. Thank you very much. Vote for me for President 2019, Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless.
Interesting. You have been watching and listening to Tope Fashoa, a presidential aspirant. Thank you so much, Tope, for coming on Ifeoma Speaks.
Thank you very much. Thanks for inviting me. It's been great talking to you.
Thank you for your time. Good to see you, Dr. Alkali.
Thank you very much, Ifeoma. I'm also very happy to be here.
Now go de Zwanka, Ifeoma Speaks na yo.
To, nima na gode kwarai da gaske. Dalu.
Can you please tell us about yourself?
Thank you very much, Ifeoma, and Thank you so much, the good people of Nigeria and other numerous followers of this program on the channel. My name is Abubakar Al-Ali, and I'm from Sokoto State. And I was actually educated both in Nigeria here and the United Kingdom. I completed a PhD in chemical and process engineering at the Robert Gordon University in Aberdeen, Scotland. I also had a master's in oil and gas engineering from the same Robert Gordon University in Aberdeen, Scotland. I also had a postgraduate diploma from the same Robert Gordon University in research methods. I also studied here in Nigeria at the Usman Danfodio University, where I completed a bachelor's in chemistry at the Usman Danfodio University. I also completed a master's in business administration at the Usman Danfodio University in Sokoto, and also a diploma in computer studies at the Caliphate Computer Training School in Sokoto. As I said, I will also say a few things about my political background. I am a card-carrying member of the All Progressives Congress. I was a member of the Congress for Progressive Change, the CPC, and contested the elections. I was an aspirant in the primaries, in the CPC primaries, contested the seat for the Senate seat for Sokoto Central Senatorial Zone in the 2011 general elections. I worked in the petroleum and aviation sectors. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Some Nigerians have been craving for a dream president. Could it be you?
Yes, I think so, I hope so, and I dream so.
Could you tell us why you think that could be you?
Yeah, I definitely am very hopeful, very optimistic that it will be me, because I think I have a clear, very clear understanding of the challenges that this country faces and the solution to these challenges. I'm also ready to make hard choices, to take the decisions that matter, to reposition this country, to build a new Nigeria. Because at the end of the day, that is what I'm really focusing on. How do we build a new nation that satisfies our aspirations? How do we build that dream Nigeria that works for everybody? So I have a clear understanding of the challenges that we face today in this country and why we continue to complain all the time. It is actually because of this passion that I have and the commitment and my vision for a new Nigeria, that one day I woke up and said, look, I'm actually tired of complaining and sitting on the fence. So I'm coming into it. Obviously, I've contested for elections before. And that is why I said, look, I have to come in and play in. I know this country currently has the major challenge of, a situation where you have a nation that is so blessed, that is so rich, yet it is so poor. So rich and so poor. So my main aim in this country, which I feel is the mechanical solution to the problems that we have, is to fight poverty, to create wealth in addition to the current wealth that we have, and also ensure that this wealth is distributed fairly. Even if it is not equitable, it has to be fair. This wealth is distributed fairly to all Nigerians, to the last person at the last village and the last border in this country. It gets to everybody. And that is why I feel job creation, number one. That is, after creating the wealth, you have to create wealth, jobs, and also a social security system, a comprehensive social security system. It can happen in this country, where if you cannot work, there is something for you. If you can work, there is a job to go for. So that is why I said to you that I understand the challenges and I know the solutions.
Thank you. Dr. Alkali, APC already has a candidate. The incumbent president has indicated his interest to contest for a second term. What are your chances, first, to get the ticket, and second, to win the elections?
Yeah, thank you so much. You see, I always say this because obviously this is not the first time I'm being asked this question. The power of incumbency is there, and yes, I know I'm the underdog, obviously, but you see, everything is from God Almighty. And I feel that I, as a person, or yourself, or any other person, will not be able to predict what is going to happen next. The dynamics are still open. And yes, there is also this enthusiasm now for a young person to rule this country, and which, to me, I don't think Mr. President himself is averse to that. You know, is averse to that. Yes, he needs his second term, but I don't think he is averse to a young person coming in to take over from him. So my chances are very bright. I'm very confident, and I'm going in as a serious candidate, not a floater or a scotter for that matter. Permit me to use the word. And I feel that with the support of the good people of Nigeria, with the support of the youths, with the support of everyone, I will get there.
Thank you. I would like you to address Nigerians and tell them what to expect of you when you become president.
Thank you very much, Ifema. Well, good day again, the good people of Nigeria, and I'm speaking to you directly from the bottom of my heart, and to say that I need your support to be the next president of this country, and also to tell you that as your president, I'm going to institute strategic economic and political reforms in this country. Number one is economic diversification. I will diversify the economy to agriculture. And the second one is on skill acquisition for the youth. So on the economic diversification, I will obviously diversify this economy towards agriculture. And in doing that, I will be focused. I will concentrate on some crops in the agricultural sector and actually work on targets. I want Nigeria in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, I want Nigeria to be a net exporter of rice, for example. In the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, I want Nigeria to be a net exporter of cotton. I want Nigeria actually to be the hub of textile business in Africa. I want Nigeria to be the hub of rice production in Africa. And in these crops, in these selected crops, because as I said, I'm doing my agricultural diversification, economic diversification to agriculture in phases. I'm selecting crops. This rice and cotton that I'm talking about, which will form my first phase, will be connected to industrialization. I will build a rice processing factory in each state of this country. And I will also, as part of my plan, build a textile industry in each state of this country. And those that are existing, that are down, I will resuscitate them. And you see, the point here is, when you have these industries all over the place, they will now give room to the springing of a swath of micro, small, and medium enterprises. Because at the end of the day, the micro, small, and medium enterprises are the engine of the economy. And this is where the jobs will come from. Now, on the other point, which is on skill acquisition, I will build a skill acquisition center in each of the 774 local government areas in this country. A skill acquisition center that will train our youths in particular trades, hands-on trades, to build them into entrepreneurs, to enable them set up their own businesses. And then, on the other hand, I'm also talking about a social security system. A social security system such that those who cannot work, of course there are a lot of people in this country that are not able to work. We have the disabled, we also have the senior citizens, the old age people. Now, obviously, this group of people cannot work. So what are we going to do with them? And that is why I will implement a comprehensive and strategic social security system such that every unemployed Nigerian will have an amount of money, about 20,000 naira. That is my plan. 20,000 naira for each unemployed Nigerian youth and each disabled person. I will prepare a new constitution for this country. A new constitution that will inculcate these fundamental changes I'm talking about. And what are these fundamental changes? Number one is that there is so much power at the center. There is so much power at the center. The government, public funds, our resources seem to be allocated to only a few group in this country, to only a particular, section or group in this country, so that you have about 90% or thereabout going to about 5% or 10% of the population. And this is the crux of the matter. This is why we cannot have peace in this country, because all the money, all the resources have gone to public office holders. The government is not working for everyone. It is working for a select few. And this is why there is no peace in the country. We are also going to look at the size of government. I will collapse the Senate and the House of Reps into one. Absolutely, into one. And the savings from that will now be injected in the communities. Because I see no point when you are paying public office holders so much money, representatives so much money, and then the people they are supposedly representing cannot feed. I really see, no, because that's not the meaning of democracy. If you ask me, that is actually kleptocracy. That is not democracy. So many times you find losses of life for, very little amount of money, because these citizens are not covered by the system. I will cover every citizen of this country. I ensure that government works for everybody, not only a select few. Thank you very much, Ifeoma.
You have been watching and listening to Dr. Abubakar Alkali, a presidential aspirant on the party platform of APC come 2019. Thank you so much, Dr. Alkali, for your time.
Thank you very much, Ifeoma. I'm really happy, and please, I encourage you to continue this good work. You are really doing a great job in sensitizing Nigerians and connecting people with the current political process. Thank you so much for all that you are doing for our great country.
Now good. Thank you for coming on Ifeoma Speaks.
Thank you.
We have MBT in the house. Matthias, you're welcome to Ifeoma Speaks.
Thank you very much, Ifeoma, for having me.
It's really good to see you.
Yeah, same here.
Do you appreciate the meaning of your name, Matthias?
Well, yes, to an extent.
What do you think it means?
Replacement.
Okay, interesting. Matthias actually means gift of God. But I was quite excited when I found out the deeper meaning.
Okay.
You know, in the Bible, when Judas betrayed Jesus, it was Matthias that was the good replacement. Because he was quite qualified.
Absolutely.
And he was very disciplined.
Absolutely.
Thinking about it, going by your name, and you want to contest for the post of presidency come 2019, I think that actually makes you a most veritable replacement. What's your take?
Well, first of all, I like the the analogy that you've drawn from the name, but most importantly, it has to do with the passion that I have for a working Nigeria. Having been a victim of a society where nothing worked, or having been someone who struggled through the process where you see so many people who had access to resources because they were politicians or their children of politicians, living in luxury and having to just watch from afar and admire them and think that, well, maybe this is the way things were supposed to be. And then going through the process and being able to one day wake up and say, you know what, we've had enough of this. We can't continue like this. And then all of a sudden from nowhere, some abnormal energy came over me and I started shouting that Nigerians have been raped for so long, we've had failures for so long, we've been promised the same things for so long, and you know, we can't continue like this. And for that reason, really, I am tying my ideas and my plans to my passion and desire to see a Nigeria that work, and the opportunities that are being created by those who we invested our trust in, and then they decided to disappoint the entire society because of their own selfish interest and because of the things that drive them. So people that are not able to separate their values from their personal values from the national value, they do not understand and appreciate the meaning of a society. They do not understand the reason why they are in government, because they first of all do not even understand what it means to be a leader. So all of this put together is the reason why I have presented myself. I haven't really looked at the name PASPA, being able to use that to attract anything, but I know that I have certain things within me that push me and that are pushing me, that I believe will push Nigerians and bring all of us together to say we've had enough failed system. We need to get to the point where we elect somebody that can take us somewhere else.
Thank you. What major contributions have you made to Nigeria from the time you were born until now?
Major contribution would be the fact that as a banker, I was able to be part of those who contributed to, you know, just bring out some level of innovation in that aspect in the banking sector, to create some systems that enable people to close early from work, and then I was able to also be part of people who were engaged in education of the people on the street, particularly on the street of Kaduna, telling them about the new value system that they are supposed to have. I've been someone who has been part of a group that I've been advocating for good governance over the years. I did all of these with very minimum resources at my disposal. So it's been, it might not look outside there as someone who has done what the politicians would call the philanthropist aspect of life, but I've given within the resources that I have to people. I've been able to raise a couple of children that are sent to my house to assist me in the house, to sponsor them to school and all of that. So basically, it has been a service within whatever resources I have at my disposal. I've committed myself to raising a generation of people that are radicals, who believe that they cannot be suppressed by the ideals that our fathers who have held us captive in our own country hold. And so for that reason, I think my contribution would be the contribution of an average man on the street of Nigeria, which I believe also have a stake in the Nigerian state.
Thank you. There's a buzz about MBT from some quarters. MBT. Tell us, who is Matthias Babasadu?
To answer your question directly, I'm a graduate of engineering from the prestigious Federal University of Technology, Minna. I have worked with the bank for a number of years and currently run my own personal company, and I have been an advocate for good governance, leadership. I'm a writer. I make a lot of noise about things that are not okay. So Matthias is an embodiment of an average Nigerian child who does not want to keep quiet and be suppressed by those who think they can drive in big jeeps and then intimidate the rest of us.
Nice. Do you have a blueprint for youth empowerment in this country?
Well, being a youth has made it almost impossible for me to do anything without considering that constituency. The constituency of the youth in Nigeria is the reason why I am doing what I am doing today. I believe that the Nigerian youth have the strength and they have the capacity to turn the situation of this nation around. Now, what plans do we have for the Nigerian people? The biggest problem that we are faced with as a country today is because there is the fact that there are no economic powers shared across the spectrum. The Nigerian people do not have that power. So the plan I have for the Nigerian young, particularly the youth, is to pick all of them from the street and engage them in the process of building a country for themselves. I want to see them working in big refineries. They do not need to have degrees. I want to see them working in construction sites. I want to see them working in manufacturing company. Now, if you look at America is a technologically saturated environment, and then for a man to be able to create that amount of jobs, it tells you what Nigeria could create if we have a creative president like myself running the affairs of Nigeria. So what I have for the young people of this country is that this nation belongs to us. We as a people are the first on the table. We are the ones that are supposed to be feeding on what Nigeria has. We are not supposed to be on the table as a meal. What Nigerian leaders have continued to do all the time is to have the Nigerians on the table. And everybody go around and what they call the national cake. I have one saying that I always say, and I will say it here. Say, Nigerian leaders see the nation as a cake to be eaten. I see Nigeria as a tree to be planted, water, and fruit be given to the next generation. And that's my approach. That's the way I see things. I've seen a lot of people also who belong to a new breed of leaders who have offered themselves and said they want to lead the country, but they do not have that concept of leadership. The concept of leadership that majority of them have is that of being worshipped by the subjects, and then people praising them, their supporters kneeling for them, and all of what have you. So my own offer to the Nigerian people is, we are Nigerian youth particularly, is that we are the owners of this nation. We own the future. This nation belongs to us. Let's ensure that we'll come together. Let's do this job together. Let it be that your children will wake up one morning and want to be president of Nigeria and not be intimidated by anything. And that is the precedent I want to set. I want to be able to set a precedent for young people to say, you know what, if Matthias can become president of Nigeria, then there is hope for me. And that's what I want to be able to give to the Nigerian youth. That they will wake up one morning and say, you know what, I also have the ability to do this. And being able to give them that hope, it's something that will inspire them, and the things that we lack in Nigeria now begin to work. For instance, if you have something you are looking up for tomorrow, you will not want to destroy today. So the reason why many young people today are not bothered about what tomorrow holds is because today to them is useless. But when they see that there is something that tomorrow, a young man who from nowhere came up and then he's able to become the president of Nigeria, a lot of young people will become more interested about their country. They will be more patriotic. Barack Obama's story comes handy in this. So now, for me, I believe strongly that the time has come for us to engineer a revolution in Nigeria. The fact that God has picked me to lead this revolution, I all just submitted myself and said, let's get it done. And that's why we're here today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're 40 years. Is age an advantage or a disadvantage to you at this moment?
I'm 41 now.
Okay, 41.
I will be 42 by the time I am being sworn into the office. And that is how old Lee Kuan Yew was when he was sworn in as the Prime Minister of Singapore and changed Singapore. So my age is important. And those who tell you that being young does not mean anything in leadership might be, they're trying to be clever by half. There are 4 cardinal things that the Nigerian people need. They need a house, they need food, they need transportation, they need clothing. I will ensure that all of these is available for all of them and give them that comfort that they will have in their selves, have that rebuild confidence in them. You know, something that they will be looking up to. I want to be a president that Nigerians are going to be eager to hear me out. They are going to be eager to say, what has the president has not tweeted. He has not said anything. What's going on? You understand? That's the world we are living in. Look at President Donald Trump. The man is practically running a nation on Twitter. You understand? You have your own president that people are helping to tweet. So my head is there.
Thank you. Extremely interesting. Can we just assume for a split moment that you're already president?
Okay.
Thank you. Please address Nigerians.
Fellow Nigerians, it is time for us to all come together and build a nation for ourselves. A country that is powered by our brains. A nation that is powered by the abundant natural and human resources that God has blessed us with. I know that we have been through a whole lot, but the time has come for Nigeria to be a great nation. Like in the words of Nelson Mandela, he said, and I quote, that the world will not respect Africa until Nigeria earns that respect, and that the black people of this world are looking up to Nigeria as their source of pride and confidence. For that reason, I remind you all, the great people of this nation, that God has given you a mandate to lead Africa, to lead the black race. And that is why I am here today, asking you to come with me. Let us work together and build a nation that will be the capital nation for the black race. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Wow. It gets more interesting. We have been watching and listening to Matthias Baba Sadu, a presidential aspirant from 2019. Thank you so much, Matthias, for coming on Ifeoma Speaks.
Thank you very much for having me, and I'm grateful.
Thank you for your time. Nigeria's definitely got talent. Follow me on all social media platforms. Ifeoma Chibogu, Ifeoma Speaks. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and subscribe to newsletters and articles on my blog, ifeomachibogu.com. Thank you for watching, and remember, life is meaningless until you find your purpose. Bye-bye.